Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Radha Govinda Madhava Govinda Madhava Shri Hare Govinda Madhava Govinda Madhava Shri Hare Shri Prabhupada ki jai Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai Mayapur ki jai Tam Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Hudirayet Rastapreshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashchiki C'est le verset combien?
5, 8, 2, 5.
8, 2, 5. 8 to 5. 8 to 5. We're going to make it in English. The big majority here speaks English. So it's Sida Charana Gandharver Sida Charana Gandharver Vidyadhara Mahorage Vidyadhara Mahorage Kinare Rapsaro Bishcham Kinare Rapsaro Bishcham Krida Bir Justa Kandara Krida Bir Justa Kandara Sida Charana Gandharve Vidyadhara Mahorage Kinare Rapsaro Bishcha Krida Bir Justa Kandara Sida Charana Gandharve Vidyadhara Mahorage Kinare Rapsaro Bishcha Krida Bir Justa Kandara Sida Charana Gandharva Vidyadara Marorage
Kinnarer Apsaro Vischa
Kinare Apsaro Vishcha
Kridabir Justa Kandaraha
Kridavir Justa Kandara
Sita Charana Gandharver
Sida Charana Gandarver
Vidyadara Mahurakai
Vidyadara Mahorage
Kinnarer Apsaro Vischa
Kinare Apsaro Vishcha
Kridabir Justa Kandara
Kridavir Justa Kandara
Sita Charana Gandharve
Sida Charana Gandarver
Vidyadara Mahorage
Vidyadara Mahorage
Vinaraya Sarovishcha
Kinare Upsaro Vishcha
Yidavir Justa Kandaraha
Kridavir Justa Kandara Sida by the inhabitants of Siddhaloka.
by the inhabitants of Siddhaloka.
Charana,
Charana,
the inhabitant of Charanaloka.
the inhabitants of Charanaloka.
Gandharve,
Gandharva,
the inhabitants of Gandharvaloka.
the inhabitants of Gandharvaloka.
Vidyadhara,
Vidyadhara,
inhabitants of Vidyadharaloka.
the inhabitants of Vidyadharaloka.
Mahahurage,
Mahaurage,
the inhabitants of the serpent Loka.
the inhabitants of the serpent Loka.
Kinarer,
Nare,
the Kinaras.
the Kinnaras.
Apsarovi,
Apsaravi,
the Apsaras.
the Apsaras.
Cha
Cha,
and
and
Kridavi,
Kridavi,
who were engaged in sporting,
who were engaged in sporting.
Justa,
Justa,
enjoy.
enjoy.
Kandara,
Kandara,
the caves.
caves.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The inhabitants of the higher planets, the Siddhas, Charanas, Gandharvas, Vidyadharas, serpents, Kinnaras, and Apsaras, go to that mountain to sport. Thus, all the caves of the mountains are full of these denizens of the heavenly planets. As ordinary men may play in the salty ocean, the inhabitants of the higher planetary systems go to ocean of milk. They float in the ocean of milk and also enjoy various sports within the caves of Trikutta mountains. Text 6. Yatra Sangita Sanader Nadat Guham Hamashraya Abhigarjanti Haraya Slagina Para Shankaya. Because of the resounding vibrations of the denizens of heaven singing in the caves, the lions there, being very proud of their strength, roar with unbearable envy, thinking that another lion is roaring in that way. Purport. In the higher planetary systems, there are not only different types of human beings, but also animals like lions and elephants. There are trees, and the land is made of emeralds. Such is the creation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung in this regard, Keshava Tuya Jagat Vichitra. My Lord Keshava, your creation is colorful and full of varieties. Geologists, botanists, and other so-called scientists speculate about other planetary systems, but being unable to estimate the varieties on other planets, they falsely imagine that all planets, but this one, are vacant, uninhabited, and full of dust. Although they cannot even estimate the varieties existing through the universe, they are very proud of their knowledge, and they are accepted as learned by persons of a similar caliber. As described in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.19, Svavit Varaha Hostra Karer Samstuta Purusha Pasu. Materialistic leaders are praised by dogs, hogs, camel, and asses, and they themselves are also big animals. One should not be satisfied with the knowledge imparted by a big animal. Rather, one must take knowledge from the perfect person, like Sukadeva Goswami. Mahajano Yanagata Sabhanta. One duty is to follow the instructions of the Mahajans. There are 12 Mahajans, Sukadeva Goswami is one of them. Bhagavatam 6.3.20. Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumaro Kapilo Manu Pralado Janako Bhishmo Balir Vayasakil Vayam. Vayasaki is Sukadeva Goswami. Whatever he says, we consider to be factual. This is perfect knowledge. Pour l'anglais, ça va pour toi? Ok, good. Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Jananjana Sharakaya Kshakshurmiritanjena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Guravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shannavari Vashachari Shatarine Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Sarudamudar Swami Tinamine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyayevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. So we are in the chapter of the Gajendra elephant crisis. There's a crisis here. Takes birth from the king to the elephant. This is big change, actually. There's question about animals here. Question about the elephant. King who takes birth as an elephant. There's question about also the lion roaring out of envy because they want to be more important than other lions. This is the nature of a lion. Nature of an elephant is that is very proud also. Anyway, all the animals are proud of their conditions. Srila Prabhupada explained, even the hogs proud of their condition. This is the nature of the material world. Because of false ego, under the influence of material nature, everyone is proud. So the elephant, I don't know if you saw elephant walking. You saw? In India.
Mayapur.
You know, you come from the land of elephants. You saw elephant walking? Yes? In zoo or in India? In the street? Mayapur, yes. You also, you saw? They're very proud, very powerful, and very quiet. But their quietness is coming from ignorance, actually. This is a body full of ignorance, elephant.
How come they have good memory?
What's that?
How come they have such a good memory?
May have a good memory, but they're still in ignorance. Can you imagine being conscious in a body like this? You are in a human body, and you can use your body as you want. You can make things with your hands. You can talk. You can walk. You can think of Krishna. You can do so many things with your human body. This is the best, perfect body on the earth. Because there's other species. Here we have the cedars. Cedars? Yeah, cedars. Cedars, what is this? This is species who have perfection. Anima, Lagima, and others. Smallest as the smallest. They can go under the door. They can travel on the rays of the sun. They can, they can be in different places at the same time. This is different kind of cities. And the yogis in the material world, they're working very hard to get these siddhis. Huh? Especially the Astanga yogis, they're aiming to get these siddhis. But the Siddha people, the inhabitants of Siddha Loka, they already have, they're born with the siddhis. So then after we have the charanas. The charanas. What are the charanas? They are some special singers. It's like Gandharvas. Gandharvas, they are also singers. Like we say, Gandharvika Radharani. She's the best of the singers. The Charanas and the Gandharvas are some types of singers. Then we have the Vidyadharas. The Vidyadharas, they are some kinds of magicians. They can do magic. So they can use easily the illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then we have the serpents. We don't really know what they are doing here, the serpents. But they're special serpents, not the serpents of the earth. They're very intelligent. Actually, they are descendant of Lord Balaram. What's his name? Anantashir. There's some special serpents, very intelligent. And then we have the Kinnaras. The Kinnaras are some sort of beings. They want to be human, but they want to be also sometimes birds and sometimes horses. Just like we have in our mythology, in our Western mythology, we have the centaur. Huh? You know what is centaur? Half human, half horses. This is a centaur. So this is the Kinnaras.
Unicorn in English.
Sorry?
Unicorn? No, centaur.
No, unicorn, no. Unicorn is the horses, full horses.
Okay.
But, this is half body of horses and half body of human. This is the Kinnaras. They can take also half body of birds. So whatever we find in the Greek mythology, for example, is coming from this. This is existing. All these species are existing. It's not that they invented, these kind of demigods. They're existing. It's coming from the Vedic text. The Kinnaras. And then we have the Apsaras. Watch out the Apsaras, because especially for brahmacharis and men, because whenever you see Apsara, your eyes is turning, My God. Already when we see a beautiful girl from the earth, we are, but what to speak of Apsaras, Special, beautiful dances from the heavenly planets. So all these, species, they go to sport. They go to sport in the mountains. And they take the caves as their residence. And they sing and they drink all kind of beverage, like, not really alcohol, but some ras. And they are very happy. We have to watch out not to go to this, to develop. Practicing devotional service, we have to watch out not to develop such desires. To be beautiful, to be a good dancer, to be a good singer, to be, to be able to fly also. Actually, all these species, they are flying. All, I think, except the serpent. We have some flying serpent also, huh? Mm-hmm. The one who Takshaka, the one who bite Maharaj Parikshit. He was a flying serpent also. And he was very clever. Because the sages, I don't remember his name, I don't know if it's Durvasa Muni or another sage, they tried to protect Maharaj Parikshit. You have a nice painting in the Srimad Bhagavatam about this. They tried to protect him. But what did Takshaka? Very clever serpent. He offered some gold to the Brahmin. So the Brahmin, you see on the painting, the Brahmin, he has a safe, with full of gold and jewels. And he said, okay, no problem, you can go. You can bite Maharaj Parikshit. So Brahmin should never be bought off. He is independent. That leads us to the next verse, and next explanation of Srila Prabhupada. This very important verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 2.3.19. 2.3.19, yes, I don't know it by heart, sorry. 2.3.19, this is this one. 2.3.19 Srimad Bhagavatam. Anyway, I have it here. Understand why. So this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam that Srila Prabhupada is quoting here, Svavit Varaostra Karera. Samstuta Purusha Pashu. Pashu means animal. Okay, there's many species. Mame Vamcho, Jiva Luke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Also, there's so many species, There's this verse that Srila Prabhupada likes to quote from, I think it's from Padma Puran. You heard, if you hear classes from Srila Prabhupada, you heard many times this verse. Jalajja Navalakshani. Jalajja Navalakshani. Jalajja means aquatic. And Navalakshani means?
Nava means 9.
Yeah, 9. And Lakshan?
Qualities?
No, Lakshan is 100,000. Jalajja Navalakshani. 900,000 species in the water. Stavara Lakshavimshati. Stavara means standing living entities. 100,000. Then you have Krimayo Rudra Samkhyaya. Pakshinam Dashalakshanam. Pakshinam is the birds. Another 100,000. Dashalakshanam. Another 100,000. Trisham Lakshani means 30 Trisham Lakshani Pashava. Another 100,000 beasts. And 400,000 human. And this is, this is the inventory, actually. This is the Vedic inventory of all the species on Earth, only on Earth. This is not counting the Chananas, the Siddhas, the Vidyadharas, everything. So you imagine there's, I don't know how many, so many million devatas kind of devatas, and there is the the different the inhabitants of Brahmaloka. Then you have the inhabitants of Shiva Loka. Then you have the inhabitants of Vaikuntha Loka. Then you have the inhabitants of the whole spiritual world, which is 3 times more bigger than this, the material world. So many living entities. So here it is explained, Svavid Varaha Ostra. What does that mean? Sva means the dog. Sva means the dog, and Vid Varaha means the pig. So Srila Prabhupada explained in this purport Sva. So we should not act like this animal society. Why Srimad Bhagavatam compare these people to animal? This is not so flattering. If the people you show this to the people, they will reject immediately Srimad Bhagavatam. They will say, look, this is just an insulting religion. They compare us to animals. But scientifically speaking, this is when you see the explanation, Svapacha. This is the dog. Sva is the dog, and Svapacha is the dog eater. So the dog, what is doing? The dog is depending on the master to live. He has to go to a master. And Srila Prabhupada explained that his society is creating dogs. Why? Because, sorry for those who work outside, but we'll explain a little bit more later. Because, their education is to be trained up to beg for service from a master. So this is terrible society. Now, most of a society, train people not to be independent anymore, contrary to the Brahmana. We'll come back to the Brahmana later. But the dog is, is completely dependent of a master. And if he doesn't have a master, he's in a miserable condition. That's what it's called street dogs. There's many dogs like this in Vrindavan or, in India. Here in France, you don't see so many street dogs because they managed to find a master, finally. The masters are so attached to the dogs. But sometimes even, in Western country, when they don't give any more their love to the dog, say, oh, it's too much, these dogs, I cannot do my own things, why I should keep this dog. They just throw it. They throw many cats and dogs here down this road, because many people knows also that, this is a Hare Krishna on top there, the castle, and these people are very merciful. And, if I throw my dog here or my cat, they will take care of it. This is true, and it's not a story. We have seen it through the years, So, but this is the condition of a dog. He's dependent of a master, and for little food, he has to obey the master. Sometimes he has to get beaten, And the servants like this in the material world, they go to a company, and they've been trained up to serve. They've been trained up to work for someone else. And they go to a company, and they don't have job, and they beg. Prabhupada say they go and beg to the company for job. And Prabhupada say the tail is doing like this, Tail is doing like a dog, like a dog when he wants something, And many times he get rejected. No, we don't have jobs. Sorry, Finally, after so many, trying, he get a job. He's happy. He has a master. This is the dog condition. most of the people in the society, they have this. So this is, they are in this condition. Svavit, Vidvaraha. Vidvaraha, Prabhupada explained, Vidvaraha is the hog, but he says there's two type of hog. Huh? There's the Vidvaraha. The Vidvaraha is living in the city and the village, and is eating the garbage and the stool. Okay, and the jungle Varaha. Here we have the forest Varaha. You never saw this forest Varaha yet? No, you have to go out sometime at night with nice jumelles infrarouge, and you will see many. One time, one hunter, he came here, and he said, "Look, there's many Varaha there. I want to send my dogs, after them, to chase them. Like this, I can kill. I can get rid. Je peux m'en débarrasser pour vous."
I can get rid of them for you.
Yeah, I can get rid of them for you. I said, no. This is Krishna pigs, Krishna Varaha. They stay here, they are protected. Say, there's so many, and this. I said, no. You cannot go, you cannot let your dogs go. Not possible. They belong to Krishna. They are protected. So this is the jungle Varaha. But this jungle Varaha, they don't eat stools. They eat roots, different fruits. Sometimes they come in your garden, they can eat, everything in your garden, to be careful. And Prabhupada said they are very strong and very dangerous. If you try to fight them, then they become dangerous. If they are wounded, then they can be very dangerous. They are very strong. But the Vidvaraha, they are in the village, and they're eating stools, they're eating garbage, So this is compared to the people who are eating whatever, Now we are in this crisis, in this COVID crisis, and this is coming from the Vidvaraha. They eat, you cannot imagine. We cannot tell even what they eat in front of a deities, It's disgusting. In China, in Japan, they eat whatever is crawling, whatever is horrible. Cooked or lived. This is the Vidvaraha, And even it's coming to France, And even, what we have in France, we have this, this slaughterhouse, Now they realize, but they don't realize anything anyway, because there's too much stupid. They don't have Brahmin to train them with knowledge. But they see, this virus is in the slaughterhouse. How come? So they wonder now if they can eat meat. This is a good time for distributing prasadam. And having people to get faith in the prasadam instead of meat, because the virus is in the slaughterhouses now. They realize that they're getting so many contamination in different slaughterhouses, in France and Europe and the world, like this. This is the punishment for the Vidvaraha people, Then you have Ustra. Ustra is what? Is camel. Ustra is camel. So it's very heavy analysis of a society. But in Kali Yuga, this is the reality. Either people, and what says the Bhagavatam, the people who don't worship Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they fall in one of these categories. Automatically. So this very important analysis of the society. So Ustra is the camel. The camel, they have so many activities, And they work also, they work hard, transporting and this and that, and, making austerities for the family, for the society. But their life is full of thorns. Srila Prabhupada says. And the camel, what he does, he eats, his food with the thorns. He eats his food with the thorns. And what happened? The thorns are, cutting his tongue, and the blood come out. And then he's releasing his own blood. So means what? Means, the camel type. The camel type is working very hard, is spending some blood. And when he doesn't work very hard, he's running after sex life. And sex life is also using of blood. That's why sometimes we consider, the Bhagavatam and the scriptures, they assimilate the wife and children to tigers, tigress, and jackals. They suck the blood of the man. By their unlimited desires, you have to work for us. I am your kid. I need this, I need that, I need that, I need that. You have to work for me. And the wife is the same. You have to work for me. You have to give me a house. You have to give me saris, jewels, whatever. You have to work. And I don't care whatever blood you will spend on this. This is your duty. This is, what. This is. This is your duty. Brahmachari, they like. Don't care. You have to work for me. Hare Krishna. You have to work for me. And actually, we have to understand that who is controlling this material world? You think this is the man or the women controlling? Krishna is the supreme controller. Okay, Sarva Karana Karanam. Okay, that's, we accept. But who is controlling here? Durga, she's man or woman? She's a woman. So in this world we are controlled by woman energy. Actually the women are much more clever than us, because actually you go and work. You work for me. I'm your wife, So you go out, you work. Me, I am just cooking, cleaning. I do buy things, take care of the babies. But you spend your blood. This is the Ustra. And then we have the last category. The last category is what? Career. Career is also a very difficult situation. The career, this is the hasas. With big ears, the hasas. So what the hasas are doing, they're working very hard. They are carrying some heavy load, For a little grass, they can get. Here we could put some hasas. If you don't have any more tondeuse making so much noise, these tondeuse. And the petrol we get on, one day. And anyway, you don't have anybody to fix up the tondeuse. So you better put some asses and sheep. There's some people, they have sheep, they don't have enough land. So you call them and they put the sheep here. You just put fences and they eat all the grass. And this is very neat and clean, So I hope one day in Mayapur will do this. It's fantastic. No more tondeuses. You know. You can have sheep and asses. But a ass, you know, stupid ass in the society, what they do, they work so hard, you know, for the master also. And the worst, they finish working, they go back to home, and they want sex life. And what happened is the she-ass, she kicked them. She kick it, you know, in the face. No, tonight I don't want. Paf! You know, you get a kick, you know, fit in the. This is the ass. Srimad Bhagavatam is describing. So all these categories is because they don't surrender. This is the tradition. Men who are like dogs, hogs, camel, and asses. Praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna, the deliverer from evils. Actually, all these categories, they worship bigger animals, like elephant, lion, who are more intelligent, sometimes monkeys. Monkeys are very intelligent. So you have big monkeys, you know, in society. Same, because they are in the category of animals because they don't follow scriptures, and they don't want to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what happened? All these small categories of animals, hogs, dogs, camel, and asses, they elect and they praise big animals, you know. And they happily live together. Everybody is happily living together in this society, so-called happiness. But the Brahmana is independent. The Brahmana never gets in the situation of one of his situation. He doesn't become a dog. The Brahmana don't become a dog. The scripture says, even if a Brahmana he has difficulties to live, to get his food, he never works for somebody else. This is very dangerous to work for somebody else because you get the qualities of your master. You lose your independence, you lose your intelligence. So Brahmana is never, he can be, you know, he can become Kshatriya if he wants. Kshatriya is still independent class of society, or he can become Vaishya, independent also, but he can never become a Shudra. This is the injunction of the Vedas. And the Brahmana is not like the Ustra, like the camel. It's not after sense gratification, economic development. There was a story like this in Krishnanagar. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was living in Krishnanagar. So a king one time came to see a poor Brahmana and he said, "Do you need anything?" And the poor Brahmana said, "No, I don't need anything. I have my students, they give me a little rice every day, so I boil my rice. And I have this tamarind tree, so I boil these leaves. I'm making some sabji, and I'm very happy. I don't need anything more, So this is the situation of a Brahmana. And Srila Prabhupada even say, even if the Brahmana is starving, he's not going to work for someone else. He keeps his independence. This is very important instruction. And he's not going to become has for sure, because he's not after sense gratification. And he's not eating, whatever he finds on his way. He's eating only Krishna prasadam. So he doesn't have a trouble of eating all this nonsense things. Brahmana is patan, jajan, dana, pratigra. Means is learning the scriptures, teaching the scriptures, and is learning how to worship Krishna and showing others how to worship Krishna, and is distributing charity, and is getting charity. That is the 6 functions. Brahmana devotee. Okay?
What about Vaishnavas?
Same.
But we work under each other all the time. In the garden, in the kitchen, on the altar.
But you don't work, it's not like dog life. This is, you work under someone, but you don't get paid for. You're not running after your money. You serve Krishna. It's only you work for someone else because, this person is guiding you in the service of Krishna. But it's not exploiting you. You work so much hours for me, and then I give you little money, and you should be satisfied with this. This is the dog. But the Vaishnava is not transcendental to this. It's in the service of Krishna. Is it good?
It's totally different because we're working for a devotee who are out of karma.
Yeah.
Outside you work for someone who is in the karma, so you take his karma. But here, more you serve Vaishnava, more you become free of karma. So it's the opposite.
Completely opposite.
Completely opposite.
You take the qualities.
More
You take the qualities.
Yeah, more you serve, more you advance. Outside, more you serve, more you degrade yourself.
Yeah.
And about devotees working outside but giving their fruits of their labor to Krishna instead of...
So this is a special concession. If the devotees are working outside, they don't have other choice, because it's like this Kali Yuga, this atmosphere, these circumstances makes you sometimes you have to do your duty anyway. It's better to do your duty than doing nothing. So even if the devotees are working outside, they should have a good sadhana. Even Prabhupada said, devotees living outside should have a better sadhana than the devotees living inside. Because they're always in Maya. Surrounded by Maya. So they should have a stronger sadhana than the devotee. Because, it's easy. Even if you don't do anything here in this temple, you are Krishna conscious. It's just like in Vrindavan, Mayapur. It's said, even in Mayapur, if you don't do anything, you lay down, you pay Dandavat all day. You lay down in your bed, you pay Dandavat all day, you make it spiritual advancement. So, but this is not for the temple devotees. But no, Krishna, he wants that we do the best of our capacity. But for the devotees who are living outside and they don't have any other choice, then they should have a very good sadhana, chanting the 16 rounds every day, following the principles. This is the minimum. And morning and evening have, lecture and bhajan. No television. No television, no internet, stupid internet. Morning, evening, concentrate on Krishna. Then they give, what they can according to their to their level of living, to their level of income. They give to the temple. They give money to the temple. If they don't want to give money, that is the problem. Even if you give 10 euros, 50 euros, whatever you can. But, even now, someone who is not working, he can give money because he receives money from the government. Not the youngest, but after 25, you receive money. No?
It's even worse for someone who don't work and receive money because he get all the karma don't do
Yeah.
any service to anyone. So you have to give everything actually to the temple. Otherwise, everything will bound him.
Yeah, if you say everything, then everybody will flip. So let's start by something. Let's start by something. And then, even we have the formula, the Goswamis, 50%. Who can give 50%? You have some exceptional devotees, extraordinary devotees, like we have this family in London. They're not so rich people, but they're always ready to give. It's amazing.
Whatever you ask to give.
Even if you don't ask, they buy some boga and they give donation and and they are not so rich people. They live everybody in the same house. This is a nice house, okay. They bought many years ago, but they are not big facilities, big palace, whatever. But still, they're really devotional. It's amazing. And sorry, Giridhari called me yesterday. He said he will give a little bit for Paris. Oh, sorry. It's okay. Thank you. And no, he asked if you go to England because he wants to know. Maybe you call him. But I said, now we cannot move. But this is very exemplary family. I don't think they give 50%, but they give a lot. Even you stay with them 1 week, and you go to, they make the shopping, they fill up your truck with boga and everything for the temple. And when you leave the house, early morning, they put money in your pocket. They fill up your tank with petrol, and they put money in your pocket. You say, no, please. Yes, this is my duty. So we have to start by little service. The devotees living outside, they have a good sadhana and they give a little money. All the devotees living outside, they have to be members of Radha Govinda Madhava. Then they will make a spiritual advancement. They will not be considered in the categories, these categories we describe.
Sometimes if you live outside and you don't go to the temple so much, and you can start to think that, oh, I'm giving temple some money and they just eat some prasadam and do whatever, anything they want to do, and I'm working and they enjoy my money and it's not fair. How can you how to say, reassure people that it's not actually like that?
You have to give for Krishna, and then Krishna is managing his own money. He puts devotees in charge. He's the master. He's managing his money. We give for Krishna. We don't give for the temple president. We don't give for the treasurer. And in a management, sometimes the management is taking care good of the money. Sometimes there is some mistakes. Sometimes there's some big mistakes. But the principle is that Krishna accepts your service, whatever after it will be, how it will be used. Krishna accepts your service. Then after, Krishna is managing his own money. He is in charge. So if he sees mistakes, he will correct it. Maybe not immediately. Sometimes it takes some time. Sometimes, people running out with the temple money. But you did your service. It's not anymore. You're not connected to this. And Krishna is seeing what service you did to him. Then after, this is his management. Is good? Hmm?
Now I feel like giving some money to them.
Yeah.
Next question will be how much? Yeah, I mean it's Kali Yuga. You know, how many temples are being looked after by devotees? This is Prabhupada started the commercial temple president didn't decide that I will bring deities and I will get some money. You know. It's yagya also, you know. And you know how it is like inside. We can think, oh, these guys go out and make money, but you know, it's difficult living in the temple also. It's not easy. You know. There's always this example Prabhupada gives that the engine pushes the train engine. It's always pushing, right? It's going ahead, and the bogies, you know, the compartments are all joined. So the Prabhupada says, you know, the push of the engine will take us back, like other compartments which are connected with. So there is always this pressure, push. Krishna and Guru is always there. It's not. I don't know. There's few devotees who are taking shelter, but even Krishna is merciful to them. Huh? Like they're not successful outside. What will Krishna say? It's okay. He's not very successful outside anyway. He's taken shelter of me. I'll give him what he wants. He's chanting Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Money is not a special thing, you know, actually. You know, we think it's special because, you know, we are working for it, and, you know, we think we are the doer, but actually the money is coming from Krishna. This is Chito Chitanam, Nityo Nityanam, Chetanam Chetananam, Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kamam. Actually, everything is coming from Krishna. The air, the water, the food, for every living entity, and the money also. You have a special amount of money that will come into your life, not more, not less. You know, this is destined already. This is. Srila Prabhupada many times said, this is already, you don't need to worry about this. This will come. What you need to worry is to serve Krishna and develop your spiritual life. Your money is already in your chart. From birth. That's why you see, for example, you have poor parents give birth to rich kids. Just like me, I was always poor, but I give birth to a rich kid. You know, I never had a house, and many times I live in other people's house. This was my karma, but she has already 3-4 houses. You know, so you see, you know, it's given by Krishna from your birth. You know, and this is not different than other services giving money. Actually, we think this is different. Oh, this is money I work for, and you know they would misuse it. I have to be careful not to give too much, or maybe I don't give at all.
That's the Ishvara Bhava, that I am the controller of this money.
Yeah, but this is not different from other services. Just like the gardener. The gardener is growing flowers for Krishna and is growing vegetables for Krishna. How many times I saw in Mayapur gardener complaining? Say, oh look, I grow these vegetables, and they don't use even the cooks. They don't walk even into the garden to get the vegetables. And the management, you know, they don't send people to get my vegetables. You know, they are rotting in the garden. You know, how many times I heard this? You know, gardeners like this complaining. That this is the same story. You know, but the thing is that they made this service for Krishna. They develop this garden, they grow the vegetables, this, you know, my offering to Krishna. Then after, if, you know, when it comes to the next service, if it's misused, this is not your problem anymore. You are not in linked with this because you already offered your service to Krishna. So it's the same for money. It's the same for cooking and offering, you know. I mean, if you cook, and you see, oh, this brahmana is not offering nicely, is, you know, is wearing socks on the altar or whatever. But you cook for Krishna, and Krishna knows. oh, this devotee, he put all his devotion in this cooking. Even if this brahmana is nonsense, I will take this food. No? Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Mayapur ki jai, Tagore Premanande.